Whoever has never been embarrassed in life, let them cast the first stone. Of course, there are pretty awkward situations, but some people manage to outdo themselves. And worse, they even filmed everything and posted it online. From people with absolutely no sense about what they were wearing for the occasion to folks who almost ended up at the police station. It was supposed to be just a formal ceremony. On stage, everyone was well-dressed, lab coats, suits, a banner reading School of Medicine at the Autonomous University of Sinaloa in Mexico. But the moment one guest appeared, everyone's attention shifted. The woman walked onto the stage wearing a white dress far too short for the occasion. So short that it left the audience bewildered. The top looked somewhat modest, but from the waist down, things got tense. The dress barely covered her backside and had a slit in the back that made everything even more visible. To make matters worse, she was wearing high heels and leaned forward to greet the people at the table, which only highlighted how inappropriate that dress was for the event. Whoever was filming, intentionally or not, captured more than they should have. People commented both on the embarrassment caused and on the woman's right to wear whatever she wanted. But was the stage of a ceremony, perhaps a graduation, really the best place for that kind of look? Style is personal, of course, but we must not forget that respect matters. In the early morning of May 13, 2017, a rideshare driver was working when he picked up a passenger who, from the start, seemed altered. She sat in the front seat and, within minutes, began making several advances without any shame. She said she was feeling in the mood, but in a much more explicit way. She tried to convince the driver to go home with her, asking if he wanted to do a threesome, even saying, "You just put it in and you're done." Despite all his refusals, and the driver explaining that he had a girlfriend, she persisted. He recorded everything, probably for safety.
Drunk and I need to. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be...
You be you. No worries there.
What stood out in this video was not just the woman's blatant behavior, but the imbalance of the situation. Let's be honest, if it were the other way around, a drunk man pressuring a female driver, it would have ended with the police, a complaint, and a scandal. Yet when the roles are reversed, many treat it as a joke. The driver, despite the uncomfortable atmosphere, kept his composure, drove the passenger safely to her home, and left. Let us be clear, that was harassment. No matter who does it, harassment is harassment, and no amount of alcohol justifies crossing the line. In 2016, Sarah McDaniel, a model and influencer who rose to fame as the first non-nude cover of Playboy magazine, was invited to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. But the interview turned into a highly uncomfortable moment that resurfaced years later. At the time, Sarah wore a tight, strapless dress with a neckline that required constant adjustments. Instead of ignoring it or sticking to the script, Colbert decided to comment. He asked if she needed tape to hold the dress up or maybe a coat. He even asked if she was cold. At one point, he covered her chest with a sheet of paper during a segment where she was teaching how to take selfies.
Get you some duct tape. Are you cold? Are you cold?
No.
You want to? No, I just want to make sure.
The interview re-emerged in 2021 when Sarah spoke about the episode during a live stream with Hassan Piker. She said it was one of the most embarrassing moments of her life and that Colbert kept focusing on it, implying that if she were a Hollywood actress, he wouldn't have done the same. Online, the audience was split. Some believed Colbert was trying to lighten the mood. Many others said he crossed the line and that Sarah's discomfort was evident. What do you think about that situation? At Tucuruvi Shopping Mall in the northern zone of Sao Paulo in Brazil, a customer was approached by store employees after leaving with her purchases, causing outrage. Miriam Guides, a 35-year-old black woman, had just paid for some items at the Dezo store when she noticed she was being followed on the upper level of the mall. A store employee, the same one who had offered her a basket moments before, approached and said she might have unintentionally put something in her bag. Surprised, Miriam handed over the bag. Everything was checked against the receipt in front of other shoppers. After all that, and finding nothing wrong, she asked for a refund. She wanted to return the items because of the embarrassment she experienced as a customer.
Ok? Então eu posso voltar e devolver?
Oi?
Vou voltar e vou devolver, não quero comprar mais na loja.
Não.
Não, sinto muito.
Nossa segurança verificou.
Não, então cadê o segurança? Então quem te falou que eu peguei alguma coisa?
As câmeras, moça.
Então vamos voltar nas câmeras. Eu quero ver a câmera agora, eu vou chamar a polícia agora.
To make matters worse, one of the saleswomen remarked that they had seen her stealing on camera. Then things got ugly. Miriam went back into the store with mall staff and demanded to see the footage. According to Miriam, the employee covered her ears and laughed while Miriam asked for her money back. The incident lasted about an hour until a mall security guard intervened. Miriam explained that she had previous purchases from the same store in her bag and believes that caused the confusion. The case went to the police station and is now under investigation for hate speech and racism. In a crowded restaurant, a commotion broke out. Diners paused to see what was happening. A violinist played a romantic song, and everyone had their phones out to record. It was a marriage proposal. The young man walked in with a bouquet and approached a woman who, from the start, looked uncomfortable. She gave an awkward smile, glanced around, put her hand to her face. Then came the moment. He knelt and showed the ring. Cries of "say yes" came from the impromptu audience. But instead of responding, she simply turned her back and walked away without a word. Someone in the back muttered, "Oh, that went badly," and it really did. The cheers turned into awkward silence. The mood dropped, and the video ended with everyone still trying to process what had just happened. We didn't see the young man's reaction, but one can imagine. No one expects to be rejected like that in public with live music. I suppose before organizing a public proposal like that, it is best to be absolutely sure of your partner's answer. Yanni Sands, a disc jockey and influencer, just wanted to record her son's baptism, but the happy family moment turned into controversy, all because of the dress she chose for the ceremony. She showed up in a white lace dress, very form-fitting indeed, accentuating her silhouette, let's say. The video, posted by her, shows the moment inside the church, with family members and the priest present. Naturally, many considered the dress inappropriate for a religious setting. In the comments, she was harshly criticized. People said it was disrespectful, that a church is not the place for provocative clothing, and some went as far as calling Yanni a sinner. Others defended her, praising her look and saying everyone should dress as they wish. The video has over 4 million views, and despite all the debate, she couldn't care less. In fact, she's gaining more views while people keep arguing in the comments. A woman parks her car completely crooked, spanning 2 spaces with visible scratches. Instead of owning up, she confronts the driver next to her, who was correctly parked, and tries to blame him. The scene was recorded on video. She starts taking pictures of the other car's license plate and accuses the other driver of scratching her car. But the cars were not even touching. Still, she insists, claiming he must have hit her car when he parked.
Car, you must have scratched it.
What do you mean, look how close?
Look, it's ridiculous. You're so
Okay, look,
close.
but look,
You
we're,
scratched my car.
look, I'm in the bay.
When the driver points out that she is not even inside her own space correctly, she simply says she doesn't care. The video shows others trying to reason with her, but she keeps demanding his insurance information. The tension grows more uncomfortable until someone points out that her car was already scratched before. Then everything starts to make sense. In the end, it seems the only damage was to common sense, because parking poorly and still trying to shift the blame makes no sense at all. Imagine being trapped in a car with someone who decided to expose everything live on the internet. That's exactly what happened in this video that circulated on social media, leaving many cringing in secondhand embarrassment. The recording begins with a woman pointing the camera at the man beside her. He, clearly uncomfortable, asks her several times to stop. You can feel the tension. He starts to lose his patience, saying he does not want to touch her, as if he might get into a fight, begging her to turn off the phone. All the while, she laughs mockingly. In the video's caption, she wrote, "Exposing all these married men who cheat," but the clip doesn't explain her role in the story. Was she an ex, a mistress, or let's say, a professional paid to be with him in the car?
Turn the camera off, bro. Not playing with you, bro.
You don't want your wife to see.
Bro, get out the car, please.
The man tries to get out, tells her to leave, but she keeps filming, mocking and threatening to take the phone with the footage. Unsurprisingly, the video went viral, but in the comments, the confusion grew. Who was right or wrong in that situation? Actually, perhaps neither. But is acting that way as bad as the man allegedly cheating on his wife? We do not know the context. Maybe she set him up and he was not unfaithful, but who can be sure? You cannot swear by either of them. Some years ago, model and influencer Manuela Conter had an idea she thought would get tons of clicks. She filmed herself answering the door to a delivery driver wearing nothing but a towel. Her goal was to see his reaction. If he would be embarrassed, respond funny, and, of course, if the video would go viral. But that is not how it played out. The driver arrived, delivered the order normally, thanked her, and left without batting an eye at her little theatrics. In the video, she laughs at the situation as if she had caused something remarkable. In reality, she stood there waiting for a reaction that never came. The clip did gain attention, but not the kind she expected. Instead of applause, she received criticism. Many pointed out that she put the worker in an embarrassing position just to feed someone's vanity. Ultimately, the plan to go viral succeeded, but at the cost of her own embarrassment. On a hot day in May of 2014, Lindsay Stalker, a second-year high school student in Montreal in Canada, decided to wear denim shorts to school. She did not foresee the headache that would follow. During third period, two vice principals entered the classroom and asked everyone to stand so they could check if clothing complied with the dress code. When they reached Lindsay, they said her shorts were too short and that she would have to change or face suspension. She refused, and that is when she was told she did not need to understand the rule, only obey it. Feeling humiliated in front of her classmates, Lindsay responded differently. She printed about 20 posters and plastered them around the school reading, "Do not humiliate me for wearing shorts. It is hot. Instead of shaming girls for their bodies, teach boys not to ogle us." The posters were removed within minutes, but the message spread online. Other students began wearing shorts in solidarity with Lindsay, questioning rules that seemed to target only girls. Even suspended for a day, Lindsay sparked a debate far beyond school uniforms and cast an outdated dress code into the spotlight. In Rio de Janeiro in August of 2023, a viral incident drew attention. Influencer Mariah Calix, known on social media as Moranguinho, was escorted out of a mall in the city's South Zone because of her outfit. She wore a completely see-through dress with a thong clearly visible. Moreover, she bent over in front of a store window while a friend filmed everything. The footage was posted by her and quickly spread. The incident split opinions online. Some thought she just wanted attention. Others criticized the mall's stance. But many comments labeled it tacky and questioned the limits of what is acceptable for engagement bait. In the end, the influencer achieved what many believe was her goal from the start: visibility, just at the literal cost of being kicked out of the mall. Imagine being out with your partner and out of nowhere she decides to leave with another man. That seems to be exactly what happened in this video trending on social media. The recording lasts only a few seconds but is enough to grab anyone's attention. A man tries to hold on to the woman, visibly upset, while she struggles, saying she wants to leave. The scene plays out in the middle of the street, and another man, the new choice, simply watches. When she finally breaks free, she walks away arm in arm with him, leaving the former partner speechless.
Let her go. She want to go to him. She want him instead. You gotta let her go.
The clip racked up over 20 million views across humor and news pages. In the comments, opinions split between those saying he dodged a bullet and others noting that physically restraining someone is wrong. Whether it was staged or whether that guy really was her boyfriend, nobody knows for sure. But the discomfort is so obvious that the entire internet seemed to share a bit of secondhand embarrassment. Some things do not even need context to become awkward. A simple mall outing ended in a headache and a lot of filth for a young man who decided to share his ordeal on social media. While he was enjoying his day, a sewer pipe burst directly above his parked car in the mall's parking lot. When he returned and saw the mess, there was nothing he could do but record his completely dirty car on his phone. In the comments, many amused themselves with how he narrated the story, but some reminded others of the serious side. If the mall charges for parking, it must also take responsibility for any damage caused inside. The incident sparked the classic debate about consumer rights. After all, paying for a service involves more than just a space. There is an expectation of safety, care, and maintenance. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.